Hey, Rich Nick Villa here again.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? So yeah, we're going to talk about the afterlife. We were sitting here talking about, well, what do we make a video about? And afterlife or entities. And I go, well, I have lots of questions about the afterlife, even still. So that's what we'll do. What's the first thing that comes to mind for you when you consider afterlife and what you personally might do in the afterlife? Just to get it started. We don't have to go into detail.
Yeah. Well, personally, for me, I'm just gonna sort of go to my home planet. Like, let's say it's a place away from duality, and it's a place where I was before coming here. Like, it's just all love, and the best part about it is that I don't have to talk. I don't have to use my lips. I don't have to say anything out loud. Beings over there just see me, and they know everything about me, and they can read anything I feel in there, like everything. They're gonna know me from A to Z, and anything happens in my life, they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna perceive it. I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna perceive everything about them, and like I really like that, and I miss that because here there's a lot that I feel and experience, and it's just like, how do you explain yourself with words, or you experience something out of body when I bring it here in this heart, and like I miss my home.
Oh, wow. Now, can you like imagine it, see it, feel it, or move into it, like, and
I
kind
have
of
tears in
visit
my
like
eyes.
it?
Yeah, I can.
Oh,
That much. It's like, I want to go
yeah.
home.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you have lots of friends there and like, community of close people there, or are you kind of out in the wild and you've got little critters here and there? How's it
It's a bit
like?
of both. I mean, like that place is wild. Like you couldn't say we have cities. It's more like 90% nature and 10% of little structures, but it's not like we have skyscrapers and everything over there. But it's just like the beings you're with. It's like just
Uh,
the comfort and everything.
oh, that sounds wonderful. Now, do you like walk around in a body, like a human body looking thing, or you like float around like little fluffy, glowy balls, or what?
Both. Like that place doesn't really have a limitation of choose a form that you're gonna play in when you're
Mhm.
there. It's more like just be whoever you're comfortable being. If you want to be just the energy floating around, that's fine. If you want to shift and move into a body, great. Like we just know the beings by their essence and their consciousness, and they can switch their it's like on Earth there is a dream with the holographic technologies where, let's say, you would stand in front of the mirror and you would be able to access all the stores in the world and just scroll. And as you scroll and pick an outfit, it would sort of appear on you, and you'd see how you look in that outfit. You can move around like that fits, buy that one. Uh, we have it over there, except it's not an outfit, it's a body. And you can just scroll, scroll,
Oh.
scroll, try it on. Okay, reptilian body, cool. And you try whatever you like and just
Uh-huh.
be that for a while until you want to switch.
Okay. Now, what's the joy? What is it like there's beingness, like some people, when they go into their afterlife, it's not about doing things or having things, it's about being. And other people, it's whatever. They want to do exciting things and go exciting places or adventures, fascinating things. And others, they want to have things like have friends, have a wonderful home, have a wonderful planet. So it's be, do, or have. Do you have a favorite or an inclination toward one or the other? Or is it are pretty much balanced?
So let's see, in my home planet, for me, it's more of a rest and recuperation place because I'm just gonna get there and it's gonna be more of a being. I'm gonna this whole physical body case and everything that has happened, drops after you die. But a lot of these experiences where being misunderstood, or your beingness is limited to certain body and feelings and abilities and everything else, like it's really like harsh here. So
Uh,
going there, like I get in a lot of my out of body experiences, like not every month, but once in a while I'll get there, and it's just pure joy. Like you're just like
mm,
finally I can breathe, I can be myself, I can be understood by beings over there. There's not that many of us, you know, it's like pretty much like uh, far and sort of like cut off from most like beings so that they wouldn't come
Uh,
and join us. But yeah, it's for me
okay.
it's just being state, like the beingness of sort of like that perception that I have here that is more like
Mhm.
amplified. Over there it's 1,000 times amplified. It's just freaking great. So you have
Wow.
this massive knowing, massive perception. There is no thinking, which is the best part. Like you just feel stuff and you know stuff, and anyone looks
Mhm.
at you and they know everything that you know. And it's just like new beings come over, you're gonna connect with them, you're gonna sort of get their knowingness and just grow like that. So there's no need of incarnating and experiencing that or sharing stories. Like it's kind of like reading Akashic Records 24/7 and experiencing it for yourself, so to speak.
That's great. Now, when you're there, when you shift over there, um, do you feel like, can you experience like, I know time is different and all that, but do you feel like you can be there like for a few hours or a few days, weeks, months at a time when you do uh, shift there now, before you go in, before your afterlife gets here, but like right now, do you feel like you can go and visit, and how much time can you like stay, so to speak?
Yeah. I go there, I can't stay there long. I can't.
Yeah.
It's just too good. Like I think about it, I want to cry because like I want to go and I'm not gonna come back, you
Oh,
know. So it's like,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like gotta stay here for certain reasons.
Okay.
So yeah, like
Oh,
few minutes is a limit because I'm not coming back otherwise.
okay,
Yeah,
understood.
I'm gone.
Wow. Thank you very much for sharing that. Now, what would you recommend for other people who are considering what they're going to do in their afterlife? You know, how can they find their home, or how would they go about uh, assuring that they go into an afterlife experience or realm that they would like to go into?
Well, I would start with, you know, creating your own reality or your own little place before you die. So just like, you know, for people who don't have visuals is the same as picking up a pen or opening a WordPad and just starting writing your, like, how would your perfect little place look like? How would your home
Mhm,
look like? And you don't have to create the whole planet, but just the little scenery and just close it
mhm,
off. For people who have visuals, they can sort of like imagine, visualize it all, like have pictures of what it would look like. But certain details and the rules for your world, you know, would be a really good thing so that they could like, okay, it's the perfection. But I would create that so that you would be safe, so that a lot of people have a lot of fears, like they've read a lot of material, they watched videos, soul traps, archons, white light, tons of little things that can scare them. So if you create a place you're going to go to beforehand, like before you die, let's say just like you watch this video, okay, I get the idea, and you spend 5 minutes creating this place and setting an intention, like when I die, I'm going there. That's enough for you to get to a safe place. And once you have your own little sanctuary, from there, you know, once you die, you don't get smarter. But once you are in your place that you have created for yourself for safety, you can access your past lives, you can access your memories, Akashic records, other things, sort of recall what you were doing before here, and then, oh, my home, and sort of remember all about yourself in that way. And
mhm.
another intention, and you go, and that's it. Like you're free. So like it would be like avoiding a lot of these little things that people might be afraid of.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how about the part where we heard some people, uh, they will go and they will reconnect with their greater self or source, or like they go back into that, they're not in a like a realm or an astral plane or a between lives area so much as they tap back into that greater consciousness source place. Is what's your take on all that? What is doable? Is it possible? Is it likely? Do a lot of people do it? Very few people do it. Just what are your thoughts? I'm curious about that.
Okay, so it's like a big subject, but from my perception, this whole going back to a source isn't the place. It's consciousness. It's who we
Oh
are.
yeah.
Greater consciousness doesn't. You just don't become greater. like you just have more awareness, you have more knowledge, and that's it. So, becoming the greater consciousness or getting into that source that people like, oh, it's just like you will know everything, you're one with everything. Well, that's what consciousness is. So from my perception, if you want to get to that state, like, yes, it is possible to connect back to sort of your point of view from that, perception, but you'd have to like literally work on who was I, how was I acting, how was I living, how much did I knew, and everything from this point of view. Do I want to bring it with me or disconnect fully? And disconnecting fully would be of a risk of coming back to Earth because, hey, you just cut off that experience that you decided to join one way or the other. But yeah, it's a big topic because like it's not like, oh, I'm gonna become greater all of a sudden. Like define that, define the greater consciousness for yourself as an individual, as of how you perceive it. And then once you have everything thought out of what the greater consciousness means to you, you can do it. But it's very personalized, individual thing for everyone.
Okay, thank you. There's a book called Power versus Force where the author tapped into that knowing even before he dropped dead.
Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about that phenomenon, he described it really well and what happens and stuff. But there's a lot of different ways to experience that. So my thought.
Do you want to share some of those parts of what you've read in it?
No, because I don't remember the details, except I go, that's the only source I know where a person who experienced it was able to write about it. It's a pretty popular book.
Yeah.
So the other thing about my thought on it is that a lot of people, when they leave this life, they're going to have a body similar to this one, at least for a little while, as they sort out what they're doing next and where they are and what's going on, and make a decision to go from there to somewhere else. And they're not going to go back to that state of consciousness of source, only because that state of consciousness source is quite busy being all things.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of one of those things deciding to not be all things and just go back to being all things instead of a one thing is, it seems like more likely that people will, as source, will still be deciding to be the individual that they're being and to go from there in their afterlife instead of just pop back to source consciousness sort of thing. That's my thoughts, but it's a really deep subject and it would take a lot to explain the details.
Yeah. I think like we can just like, let's say by connecting to it of that whole beingness and the knowledge, like copy paste the experience, the knowledge and everything else. So we can just sort of like, okay, everything that part of me knows, I know now. And I have my own targets. I don't want to be involved in this physical reality doing stuff. I want to get out of here because of what I learned on Earth. Bye. And you know everything and you just get out of the duality and just do something else. Yeah.
And my thought is that there are many great experiences we could have once we leave here that have nothing to do with the Earth, have really nothing to do with any physical universe, planet or race or beings. It's in these other realms beyond this density or this dream, this matrix, this whatever you want to call this. So many adventures and fun things that an individual, I would imagine, would enjoy the great experiences that they could have once they leave here. That's my thoughts on it.
Pretty much.
I do have another question, but do we have time? Or I know
we have a few minutes before we wrap it up.
Okay, so the other question, it has to do with Robert Monroe's Institute, the Monroe Institute, used to have a thing they called the Lifeline experience, where he would teach people while they're still in physical form to go out of body and help people who are dropping dead and they're going into their afterlife. So they would float around as out of body experiencers and help, they'd tune into and help people who had just, their physical body just passed over, and now the physical body died and they passed over. So now what do I do? And these guys would coach and guide them. Is is that something that you've done, or what would you do with a person if you were doing that sort of thing? I guess would be a question.
I've never really had this freedom where a person just, hey, let's just have fun, and then we would pick a target and do stuff for fun. But pulling people out of body with a certain target that they had in mind, and that was their thing or issue at the time that they were dealing with. Let's say someone they love passes over, and they're like, "Oh my God, I don't want them reincarnating here on Earth," and so we just get into that meditative state and shift their consciousness, and they literally like find their loved one, talk to them, and leads them to a safer place, and sees their loved one. Oh, finally, they're safe. Now they're starting to learn. Like if they were completely unaware of this place, then they like start learning and like getting better or communicating to spirit guides and everything else. Like that's totally a thing. All right.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Agbila, for sharing your thoughts
Sure.
and your understanding and experiences in the afterlife. And thank you, everybody, for watching today.
All right.